of African Gospel. Ekaya Beat.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Divine Calling Unleashed here at Africa USA Radio. I'm your host, Nell Royale, and on my side, I have the queen of the media industry. She's one of the most strongest women that we know in the media industry. She goes by the name of Sophie Ndaba. Oh, Sophie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
My God. You know, let's just talk about your journey in the media industry. You know, you've been here as long as we can remember. We grew up watching you. You still look sexy and beautiful. You don't age. What is your secret?
I believe beauty is from within, and you know, I just think that the purer you are inside with your intentions, it glows on your face. It will glow throughout, and I think it's all about just keeping it real with people, keeping it real with yourself, and being at peace, and always striving to bring those around you joy. Yes. I think once you live a purposeful life, sometimes you don't understand what is purpose. Purpose is like, on purpose, I'm going to be nice to you. On purpose, I'm going to be a great person. On purpose. So you need to be intentional about anything and everything that you do. The minute you become unintentional, you become inconsistent, you know, because then you're undependable. We can't think, when we think we're not sure, are you going to even show up when we invite you? You're going to show up when we say we are depending on you. How sure are we you're going to participate in our vision of partnership with you? Yeah. So I think it glows from inside out. And, you know, they always say you age like wine.
Yes.
Slowly, for now, it's more mental, more emotional for me. And with my conversations with God, of course, to say, keep me. Keep me. I still want to be here.
Yes.
And renew my life. You know, so when you're renewed, remember, when you decorate your house, when you redecorate your house and you renew it, what do we see? We see new everything.
Yes.
New kitchen, new bathroom, new entrance, new. So when you say, God, renew me, what are you hoping for? An old body that looks old again?
Nah.
He's going to renew inside out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. We're so proud of you. I think also it's just the resilient spirit that you got going on, and your faith in God. I know you've been very open about your health issues and all stuff, but God has kept you. And then there should be a reason why God is keeping you. I mean, God keeps people that have deep faith or deep connection with Him. Can you just talk to us about your journey through like this trials and tribulations when it comes to your health, and how you feel about you being sustained?
You know, the Bible says faith is the substance of things not seen yet hoped for. So I operate on faith, literally. I mean, any challenge that comes my way, I look at, how do I navigate it? And I know my core, my foundation is Christ. And if I just put all my worries to Him, He's going to navigate them for me and give me, you know, the vision. How do I navigate through pain? How do I navigate through challenge? How do I navigate through tribulations? Because we are here to live a purposeful life. And that's the first thing I needed to do, is to understand, why am I still here? What purpose is it that you're keeping me for? Because people around me are going and they are not as sick as I was, but I'm still here. Why? And as a child of God, if you don't investigate that and you don't want to navigate that and understand why you're still here, then your time will be very short, because then you're not interested in knowing why you're still here.
And being appreciated.
And more importantly, besides appreciating, beginning to implement your purpose. That's the key. People don't understand what you can understand your purpose, but are you working towards implementing your purpose? Yeah. So I know, first of all, God made me a celebrity, not because He wants to make me a superstar. No, I don't live a superstar life. God made me a superstar so that people can know my name. Number one, Sophie Ndaba.
Yes.
Number two, they now know you. I want to use you for my glory. You get it?
Yeah.
So he appoints you, He places you, He allows you to be a soldier. What happens to a soldier? He goes to war. What happens in the war? He gets a lot of wounds. Right?
Yeah.
So I operate on wounds. I can have eye problems, I'll have diabetes, I'll have trauma, I'll have depression. Every kind of ailment a woman goes through in her lifetime, I have been through it. From childbirth to whatever, right? And my childbirth wasn't just any ordinary childbirth. It was cesarean section type childbirth. So it was, you get cut open, the child gets taken out. It's not ordinary. And the minute you're not ordinary, you must know you're appointed.
Yes.
Wow. The minute you're not ordinary, you must know you're appointed. God doesn't appoint ordinary people, he appoints unordinary. And he only appoints as well people who have scars. He himself sent Christ to come and get a scar for us on the cross so that we can have the life that we want and an understanding. That's why I allowed Christ to live on earth, have the scars. People can go against him. So even when you've got best friends, about Judas. So we've got Judas in our ambience, friends who betray you and you trusted them. Didn't he also trust? So when you look at the journey of Christ, you begin to understand, oh, that's my journey too. And he came so that we can have an understanding, life was not designed to be simple for those who are appointed. He was appointed, Son of God. He was appointed, so he had to be a carpenter. He had to be, people always say, oh, but I'm a Christian, please. Like, hello. Christ is the one who refilled those drums, but there's rules according. You cannot get drunk to the point where you don't know who you are, or you're not saying you don't have an understanding, because you need to know, I'm going home. How do I get home? I'm driving home. How am I getting home? So he didn't come here to stop us from living a good life. In fact, he wants us to live a good life. In fact, he wants us to live in mansions and, live a lavish life. People think that Christianity is poverty. Oh, no. I'm a daughter of the King of Kings, honey. Yes. I cannot live poverty. Poverty has lost my address a long time ago. Poverty does not belong in my space. So I'm always chasing it away. I'm always telling it, leave me. You're not my friend. You're never my... In fact, you're passing by for the purpose of me to learn lessons. So I think a lot of women out there, my message to them is that they need to learn that lessons are there to grow them, to groom them, and to teach them and to strengthen them. Right? If I pinch you now, the first time, you're going to scream. When I pinch you the second time, you're going to scream, but the scream keeps getting lower. Same pinch. No change in the pinch. I pinch you the third and fourth time. By the time I pinch you the fourth time, that pinch is no longer a pinch. You hardly even feel it because what? You have walked the journey of pain. You understand the journey of pain. Now you're going to teach others how to navigate and understand and listen to the pain and say, when I pain, your time is over. Now it's time for me to navigate.
Wow. Queen. Wow, what a wisdom. So let's talk. You just mentioned about purpose, living a life of purpose and intentionally so. At what point of your life did you realize I'm actually called for this? Or when did you find your purpose? And what was the situation that led you to be like, okay, actually God want me here?
When God restored me completely. Yes, you can have a pain there and there. You can have a days where you're like, oh, my finances are not going well. Please, that's the least of your worries. When God restored me is when I knew, okay, you've saved me for a purpose. Because first of all, we worry about, oh, where am I going to go when I die? Oh my gosh, what happens? And I began to find peace. And the minute you find peace in knowing where you could go is when God then says, okay, now you are calm. Now you can hear my voice. And unfortunately, you have to communicate with Christ. You have to have a personal relationship with Christ. Yes, we can go to church. Church is the cherry on top. I believe your personal relationship, because the Bible says, he says, move away from me because you don't know me. Because you go to church, you're a church goer. God you don't know him. You've never had a personal relationship. What is a personal relationship? If I'm having a relationship with you, I'm going to know your mother. I'm going to know your grandmother. I'm going to know your sisters. I'm going to know where you were brought up because I want to be your bestie. So, and if Christ is my father, how do I call him my father? Confidently, but I don't even know his roots. I don't even know where he's coming from. Purpose. So it now leads you to purpose. Okay, my father, I now know him. Now, when you know him, you then understand his language. How do you say this to your father and you don't understand his language? So the minute I know him, I understand his language. The minute I understand his language, I hear his voice. The minute I hear his voice, I hear the instruction. Because I get he's the father, he instructs. So now you begin, because now you know how he operates. Because people say, do I hear a voice when Christ is talking to me? What do I hear? Do I hear sound? Is there a sound now when Christ is talking to you? No. The spirit of discernment gives you. People think, do I have dreams? Yes, sometimes you can have dreams. Yes. But the point is that you just have this feeling of knowledge, supernatural knowledge of what you need to do to a situation. You're sitting with someone. It's not make sure, as we call it.
Yeah.
You're sitting no muntu and you're like, I love make sure. What did she do to you? No, she didn't do anything. I can feel it.
Yeah.
That's the spirit of discernment. That's Holy Spirit communicating with you, telling you what I get right, but it doesn't mean that person is an enemy. It just means be careful. You know. So purpose is having a relationship with Christ, understanding what he wants you to do, hearing his voice when others would not naturally hear his voice, understanding how you're going to hear his voice, and then implementing your purpose. So what is my purpose? My purpose is I allowed me to also go on my own cross, right? Because I'm on earth.
Yeah.
Then what happened? Then he rose me up. Happened I was a skeleton.
Yeah.
Then he rose me up. And he says, well, now I want to use you. I want every broken woman out there to be able to look at you and see a testimony and see that if she could do it, I can do it. And that is exactly what women come and say. Women no longer come say to me, oh, you've got a beautiful dress. Yes, they can say you look nice, but it's not the part of the conversation. The conversation is, I was at an event last week at government. A lady came to me. She's from a beauty company. And she came to me and she says, can I just tell you something? I said, what? She says, I just divorced my husband because he was abusive. And I did it and I found the courage because of you. So we are not saying we are encouraging divorce. We don't encourage divorce. God hates divorce. But we are saying that if you're a broken woman, you're living in an abusive relationship, counselors are not enough. You need to find the courage to fight your own fight without counselors, because counselors don't live in your house with you. They don't walk out of the house with you. And even downgrading, women are afraid to downgrade.
Yeah, that's
to my mother's house. How do I go back to my mother's house? I mean, I downgraded. I downgraded to the level where I wanted to hear God's voice. And then I went back to my luxury because I thought the only way I can hear God's voice is if I go to the deep of the deep of the deep, so that I can understand starting afresh what it means. Because if you're still in the same environment, but you're a different person, how do you see the change and the shift?
It doesn't
How
make
do you
sense
even
at all.
appreciate what God has given you? So what I'm saying is purpose. You have to seek God first to find purpose. Unfortunately, it doesn't work abracadabra and then you find purpose. No. You have to seek God first, then you find purpose.
Yeah. Wow. I will say through all the depth that you went through, there's just so much of wisdom coming from you. I wish we can keep you longer. I'm telling you.
You can't stay forever.
Yes. So what is the word that you can give to other, people that are in the media industry that are not sure? Because in the media industry, most of the time you're not sure. Is it even sustainable for me to stay longer here? What is the word that you can share with them? Because
media anyway. Find your purpose. We're still on purpose.
Yeah.
I know my journey has always been filled with purpose that God had for me, but I didn't have an understanding at the beginning.
Oh.
For God, we can be 80 years old, but we're still children. So, you can't say, oh, now I'm 70, or now I'm 40. I think as no. With Christ, you remain a child and you remain a learner. So you must constantly seek God's guidance. So my thing to young people, older people who are in any industry, not necessarily media, is that you need to understand the find your purpose and you'll feel it. This is where I need to be. Not merely checking it 25. Show me it will click.
I hear you, ma.
It will click.
Yes.
Right. I'm unemployed, I click. But I'm just saying, on the 25th, on the 30th, on the 1st, it's clicking.
Yes.
But they're not aware they're in the wrong position. Because if they found their true position, whatever is clicking could be triple.
True.
Because they have not found. So always, when you're comfortable with where you are and you feel at home is when you know you're in the right place. And the minute you begin to become uncomfortable, it means God wants to shift you.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's when you need to start fasting and praying and asking God, where do you want to take me? Should I apply for another job? But I'm just here for a year. And God is like, no, but here I wanted to teach you 1, 2, 3. I want to take you there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you must constantly be hearing the voice of God. That's why relationship
with God
Christ
is vital.
That's where you're going to know, this is where God is taking me. You don't just become a CEO just because you've got a degree, a PhD, or a master's.
No.
You become a leader of an organization because you're worthy. And how do you become worthy? You prove to them that you're worthy.
Christ.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's think about you. Let's talk about your project, upcoming project. Let's close with that. Do you have upcoming projects that you want to share with us?
Oh, yes.
You're such a busy woman.
I've got a project called She's a Wonder, which Christ gave me probably 10, 15 years ago, which was supposed to be Woman of Wonder. And I shoved it aside because I was too busy making money, man. I was like, I'm a woman of wonder. I am a woman of wonder, you know?
Yeah.
And eventually, when I was at my lowest point and I remembered, Woman of Wonder, and I Googled it and I thought, no, people own it already. It's a brand. And I said, let me create another one. And then I thought, she's a wonder. You know, I'm a wonder.
Yes.
You're a wonder.
I was about to say, that's a perfect reflection.
Yes. She's a wonder. So She's a Wonder is Christ's project. I call it Me and My God project because, you know, even when I don't have a budget to do it, I say, but God, you're going to provide because this is your project.
Yes.
You know? Yes. And it's always sold out. And, you know, it's the second year now. And it doesn't matter what size we do it, whether we do it small or slightly bigger. It's always sold out. And funny enough, it's always sold out in the last few days. Because Christ is like, but this is my project. Don't worry about it. Do your part. Market it the way you see fit. Do everything. But what we do there, we help broken women. We help to restore their confidence. We help to restore everything that could have been confusing them, from doctors to therapists to dietitians to fashion designers. Restoration it all. You need to see. For she has revived and she's come back.
Yes.
You can't be a comeback story and you still look sick. You still look ukarutoka. You want people to be saying shame.
Yeah.
She's come. No, I don't want the shame.
Yeah.
I'm back. And I don't want shame. I want you to say to me, how can I help you?
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So She's a Wonder is about that. She's a Wonder is about women restoration, from knowing your rights, from legality. When women get divorced, they don't even know. They fight too much. Barasa. You know, they will send a man an email from here to Timbuktu because she wants to tell him how hurt she is. He already knows you're hurt, darling. Leave him alone. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's the other way around. But because I speak for women, I'll always speak for women. I just say you need to, you know, put your energy on your children. You need to put your energy on everything. So She's a Wonder is about that. It's about a woman's restoration.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Wow. So the last question. In today's summit, one night women's summit, what are you expecting? What are your expectations?
You know, on Friday session, I had a 2-3 second conversation with Anita, and I said to her, on stage, you told me your story. And I connected. There's a point of connection to say, I was broken. That's why women's summits are very important. And I always say to women, you can't come to a summit and go and come back the same.
No way.
Right? You come back the next year, you're still in the same position. How? What did you learn? Right? So for me, coming to a summit like this, I'm not here just to say I was here.
Yeah.
I was here. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get the impartation so that I can then implement it on my own life and say, this is what I learned. And that is why, you know, our reverend and trust people like Abu Janita, Dr. Janita to impart. Because we can all say we know. But you don't, as a child of God, you don't stop learning. That's you have to constantly renew yourself, renew your mind, renew your spirit, renew everything. Yeah. So that's what I want to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm here to school and clear college today. Yes.
Oh my God, we're gonna learn together today.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Queen, for this moment, for taking a moment to actually talk with us.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you big time, and we love you. We can't stop. We won't stop. Just doesn't. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Sophie Ndaba. She's just phenomenal. I wish we were not rushing to the event so that we can keep on talking, but we shall see you on another episode. From me and the Queen, we say bye-bye.
AfricaUSARadio.com, home of African Gospel. Ekaya.